My plans today are to go through Megahive and just see how it's going. And then I also would like to get some queens off of this queen. So what I'm planning on doing is taking a frame of eggs slash brood. If I can find an appropriate frame out of here, hopefully out of the top brood box, which would be this box right here. And then take some bees and so forth, make a split, get a whole bunch of bees in there, nurse bees, etc. I've got a nuke set up over here. Now this nuke actually has a few bees in it. They're just a little mini swarm I caught a little over a week ago. Actually, there's no queen in there. They're just not doing very well, so maybe they'll combine with the bees from this hive. Since I believe they're queenless, they ought to just combine right with them, as far as I understand. Okay, here we go. I'll smoke them in the front. Put them on here. Smoke them right there. Going up here, climbing up to the top. It's a 6-foot ladder. You can see how high up I am. Up on the third step up. This hive's somewhere probably 7 or 8 feet tall or so. So they've got a little stick in there to give them a little bit of ventilation, and also there's a little upper entrance. See the propolis? Look at all that propolis right there. These are just phenomenal bees. I wish I had several hives just like it, and that's kind of my goal, is to get a few. First goal is to keep this one doing well. Second goal is to maybe get up to about 10 hives like this, and then just see where it goes from there. Yeah, see, there's a lot of bees in there still. See them? The very top box, box number 12. That's pretty good. And just smoke them and we'll see what we have. Oops, they went to smoker. So I'm just going to set the lid down here. Well, that didn't make them very happy. I guess the smoker startled them. Anyway. Okay, here we go. Guess the smoke drove them all down. Let's see if we have any honey in this upper box. My guess is no, but we'll see. Yep. There were some bees, but there's really no honey in here. Like I say, I think our honey flow has been low here for, yeah, we got no honey in this box. So I'm going to go set it down on the ground and we'll see what we got next. Here's something I find a little strange. As you can see, I've taken the top 3 boxes off. So that's box 10, 11, and 12 from the bottom. And from what I can tell, none of these frames in here have honey in them, which is not a surprise really, because we are we're done with honey flow here pretty much. But this one right here, let's see, I don't know if you can see, there's just a little bit of nectar in there, and the bees are trying to repair it. I have no idea why the bees are putting honey in this frame right here, and believe it or not, the next to last frame on this side too. Just a little tiny bit, if you can see it in there, not much, on both sides. There's no honey in any other frame that I can tell of any significance at all, or nectar, except for the second one on this side, the second one on that side. I have absolutely no clue why that would be. Okay, now we're starting to get into something here, it looks like. This is the box number 8, or the 5th medium up. Picking those 4 boxes off. These bees look really busy in here. It looks like they've got some honey in here actually, which is amazing. And from the looks of it, it's really clear. Now they're definitely not full as far as capped. But if you look right here, they've done quite a bit. And over here there is nectar some, just haven't capped it yet. See a couple of hive beetles down there. This one over here, not capped quite as much as the one in my hand. But I was thinking I would harvest again next week, and I think I still may. I'm not going to be real aggressive with harvesting. I want to make sure these girls make it through the winter. This is the middle frame, which will probably have the most. Let's see, it's most. I wouldn't really say those cells over there are all totally full of nectar either, so we'll probably harvest most of this super next week. Looking forward to seeing what kind of honey it is. You know, you can tell, once again, we're in the 8th box from the bottom. Now there were some bees in those other boxes, as you can see down there. Not a ton of bees in the top 4 boxes. There's a few of them moving around. There's quite a few, but not a ton. But when we got down to this box right here, you see it's really full. A lot of bees in this box. Okay, this is box number 7 from the bottom. Also busy. My guess is they're all going to be busy from here on down. And as I look in there, I can see a fair amount of capped honey. Yep, this frame right here, I'm ready to harvest. Look at that beautiful capped honey. Both sides. Looks like we have a full super here with honey ready to go. When you look over here on the edges, I'm not sure on this. Over here. It's capped on the inside. Mostly. Outside, well, outside is not completely capped and not completely full of nectar either, so we're probably going to harvest pretty much this entire super next week. Okay, this is box number 6 from the bottom, or the 3rd honey super. Looking down in there, looks like this, kind of like the last box was. The outside frames may not have much nectar or honey in them. Let's look at this one over here so we can see what we got. Yeah, I don't think this is going to be ready to go. But there's definitely going to be some to harvest in here. Yeah, see, this full of nectar. You can see that. This will probably end up being, well, look at the back. The back side is basically capped. How about that? This may have been one that I didn't harvest last time because it probably wasn't capped enough. I think we're getting down to that point now. Harvest the top 5 or so of those. So we're getting down now into the ones that just were pretty much full but not capped. We harvested about a month ago, and now this is the thing about this whole deal is, look at that, it's capped. I've just knocked some of the cappings off. That's not even drawn out completely on this side. What's so amazing about this is we really, honey flow, we really don't have any, I mean, there are no flowers around here. I don't know where they're getting it. See, there's quite a bit of nectar in there, it's not capped. This side is totally ready to go. So we're going to have some more honey to harvest for sure here. Let me take the one out of the middle. So once again, these are frames that I mixed and matched last time that just weren't quite ready to harvest. Most of them had honey in them. So they might be kind of inconsistently capped. Yeah. See there again. Full of nectar. The next one down is the same deal. So we'll see what we decide to do here. We're getting down into now. This is box number 5 from the bottom. It's the second medium from the bottom. And one way that we keep the bees, keep the queen out of the top of the hive, the top part, is to put a box of empty frames, empty foundation between the brood box and the honey supers. So this is one that we obviously, it's not totally drawn out. They had drawn quite a bit out last time, so I went ahead and put another empty box underneath it. There was a little brood in here last time too, maybe, but see, if there was, see, it's got nectar in it, honey. It's just mostly, very little of it's even capped. And that's how it looks like most of these frames are in here. I'm not going to take them all out. This comb where the end frames don't even hardly have anything drawn, just a minimal activity. Starting to draw out a little bit. It may have been that way before, I don't remember. This one right here. If you look right there, look at all that purplish right there though. These bees purplize everything. They're amazing in that respect. I need to put a propolis crap in here. That's good stuff and can make some money on that, although I've never really done it. And that's again the same type deal, so not anything to harvest out of here. This will probably just, we probably looked at all the honey we're going to see. I'm going to go ahead and take this box off. I want to get down into the 3rd deep. This one right here. And I hope I can get a frame of egg/brood out of there and some bees to make a split and hopefully make a queen, make a few queens maybe off of this Megahive here. I'd like to make several of these, and would love nothing more than to have this queen's genetics. Hopefully they'll mate with some good drones. But let me take care of this and see what we got next. Looking down in this box, the empty foundation box, not much at all going on. There's a few bees in there, but as far as light formation, so you can start a little tiny bit. And this thing's been in there for almost a month. Actually, I went through these and I should put that foundation in there maybe the 5th of June, so a little bit over a month, I believe. So, obviously not a whole lot of flow going on right now. They're fertilizing like crazy still. This is where it's at right here. Look at these bees. This is the 3rd deep. Top of this box. They're just as happy as they can be. Just working away. And just bees packed into this box here. Now, there's the box that I've removed here. Look at the front of the hive. The bees are still just kind of bearding on the front. Pretty cool stuff. We're going to break into here now. In review, before I try to do my next thing, I want you to look at this. These top 3 boxes, right here, this is box 12, 11, 10 from the top. No honey. I may actually just remove those supers and store them, get them ready for next year, drawn comb. This one had just minimal honey. If I'm not mistaken, I think that was the one. I'm pretty sure that was the one. It just had minimal nectar in the second frame in from each side, which I have no idea why. This one has mostly capped honey. This one has mostly capped honey. This one has some that's ready to go on hive beetle. Bottom 2, the bottom honey medium right here was just on top of the box. That's my queen excluder, basically empty foundation. They haven't done anything much with it. And this one's just partially drawn out. It does have some nectar and honey in it, but it's just kind of mix and match. So there's our 9 honey supers stacked up. That's what we're done with them. My objective now is to try and get a split out of this. Hopefully we'll see some good brood and some eggs in this 3rd deep. If not, I'll have to go on down into the 2nd deep. But let's see what we got. Alright, the moment of truth here. I actually smoked my smoking again. Let's see what got in here. I have no idea what we're going to find down in here in this brood box. From here it doesn't look like there's a lot going on. Hopefully I won't roll the queen. Now these obviously black frames are the new Pureco frames I got this year, so they're all this year's stuff. This frame right here, what I'm seeing is some pollen. There's a little bit of brood over here you can see. So I think she's really brooding down. It's kind of what I expected. There's a little bit of what we call milk brood in there, which means just small, newly hatched larvae. Not really seeing a lot of eggs or anything. Thinking they're starting to put a little honey in this third beak, which is what you want. It's what you expect. So it's okay. A little bit of drone comb. A lot of pollen. Right there. Really not seeing any eggs or brood here. Nothing to speak of. That might actually be a good frame to use in the new starter nuke because of the pollen and the new breeder and the new cell builder colony, or whatever they call them. Now this one right here might be a good frame. It's got some milk brood in there, which is newly hatched larvae. Got pollen. It's got some honey over here in the corner. This side is mostly pollen. That might be a possibility to use. Let me set it out here as well. I didn't really see any eggs. Oh, and I look right here. This is a frame of pretty much brood. Capped brood, look at that. Don't see any eggs. But now I think I'm going to put this in there. This will be actually good nurse bees. They'll hatch soon. Alright, maybe I'll use that one. That'll be good for the bees for the split anyway. I don't know if I'm doing this right. This is just kind of what I think I need to do, so I'll try it. It's right here. I really want to find some eggs. And this one might be the frame for this right here. It's got some drones on it. It's got a lot of milk brood. Milk brood is it's kind of a term Greg Collins taught me. It's just, I don't know if you can see it in there or not. When the bees first, see what's kind of a cream color? A little jelly, it's almost like royal jelly in there. When the eggs first hatch, they feed them a substance kind of like royal jelly. And they use that for a few days, and then they stop giving them that if it's regular brood. That's another possibility for the split for the queen cage. I'm just going to let them make their own queens. I'm going to try to graft. I don't really know how to do that, and I don't have the time to mess with it. Mostly honey on this side, pollen on that side. Tell you what, I'm going to take this one over there because that has pollen and honey in it, so that won't be a bad one for them to have. Let me go set this over there. I don't see the queen anywhere. They need that pollen and honey to continue to feed them properly. No queen. No queen, no queen. I've never seen the queen in this hive, in this Megahive this year. Okay. I don't think you can see this, but down in this one, we've got a bunch of milk brood. This area right over in here, there's some eggs too. Pollen. We got honey. And we got a bunch of milk brood on this side. The back is mostly pollen and honey. There might be some eggs in there too. So I think this is a really good frame. There's not many eggs, but there are a few. So hopefully the bees will pick this and turn these into queen cells. And I like it too because it's actually on a wax foundation. So if I cut some cells out, it'll be good. Alright, well what I'm going to do now, try and put this thing back together. I'm going to try and get a frame. Maybe I'll do another frame of, if I can find another good frame of brood. So they'll hatch into the nurse bees. And I'm just going to shake a whole bunch of bees in front of that nuke. Let them run in. That way, the bees, the foragers will come back to the hive. The nurse bees will go into the nuke. And hopefully they'll just nurse that thing and get some good queen cells going. It's kind of a technique I learned watching one of Ralph Jones III's videos on YouTube. He's got some pretty cool, interesting stuff. We'll try it and see how it works. And also, if you do that where you shake them out in front of the hive, if you happen to get the queen, you can see her if she goes running in there. And you can get her back in the hive where she belongs, in the big hive. So, okay, now this is box number 2 from the bottom. And my goal is just to get some nurse bees, and maybe some more brood in there. Or some more honey, I don't know, something. I'll roll my queen. Start on this side over here. They're getting a little feisty, which is understandable. I've been in them for a while. This outside one right here has got honey and pollen that you would expect. Lots of pollen on that one. That'd be one we use for anything. Yeah, I can tell they're brooding down. There's not a ton of brood in this hive now. Which is what I actually expected. Look at all the pollen on that though. Totally pollen. Found her highness. There she is, right there. She's going in. Right there. You can see her. But I am so happy with this queen. She's Megahive's queen right there. There you see her. Okay, so what I've done, if you look right here, I've shaken some bees off of these brood frames. Eggs and brood. According to Ralph Jones, it makes a lot of sense. The bees that go into this nuke will be mostly nurse bees. The bees that fly back to the hive will be the foragers. What you want to make queens is nurse bees. So it's working okay so far. You see them marching in, some of them. Still got to get a whole bunch more. Yeah, so there's quite a few bees in there already. I'm going to get a couple more frames and put in there. Okay. Shaking quite a few bees off. These should be the nurse bees going in. I did see the queen. I'm almost 100% sure I didn't get her. Although I did pull another frame out of there, so hopefully she wasn't on it. I don't see her going in. The bees all seem to be marching in, so hopefully we're going to end up with a nice little split here and a few queens off of little Miss Megahive queen. View. Here's the frames. A little brood on that. The bees are mostly hanging on around the edge. They aren't going up on the frames too good yet. See a lot of bees in there just kind of running around. They just haven't gotten oriented yet. They're a little confused. This frame has honey, pollen mostly on it. A lot of pollen. Now I put a little frame that's got some brood, a lot of pollen, and there's brood on this side. Get a larva. This is going to be the money frame here, hopefully. It's got milk brood, it's got some eggs over in here. Some of the same on that side. Don't want to get too many eggs. Don't want to have them pulling out tons of queens. Just want to get some really good ones. We've got a frame of brood here. And the outside frame is a frame of honey and pollen. We'll see how it goes. I'm just going to let them hang out a while. Over here you can see still a lot of bees over here. This style box 1 and 2. I never got down into the bottom box. I replaced the frames I took out with new frames in both of these boxes. This was box number 3. So I'm gonna stack it back up and we'll call it a day. Okay, in review. Move the ladder. Now, so you can see how this thing looks, how tall it is. This is a 6-foot ladder right here. See how tall the hive is. It's about 8 feet tall. That includes probably the stand it's on. Okay, here we go again. Got a bottom blue box. Brood. We took some brood out of there. Just found the queen in the second box. Brood. Looking good. You guys saw it. First medium. Just empty foundation basically. I haven't drawn anything out on that much yet. Partially drawn out. A little bit of nectar honey. Mostly honey. Probably harvest some out there next week. These two will harvest completely. This box right here, fourth from the top, had just a tiny bit of nectar on the next to outside frames on both sides for some reason. Top 3 boxes, drawn home, no honey at all. I'm just going to leave them up there and store them for now. We'll probably take them off whenever we decide to harvest. I'll take them off and put them in storage then. Over here we've got the nuke. We split off. We're going to try and make some queens. Just let them pull their own queens. Quite a few bees in there now. It's packed out pretty good. Hopefully there's enough. It's for my first time trying to do it this way. We'll let them try and pull some queen cells and see what happens. Hopefully get a good strong queen in this nuke to develop into another mega hive someday. And then have enough to make some more hives as well. I'm going to try to develop some nukes just to have on hand. Both Greg Collins and Tim Ives say that's real important to have nukes. So we're going to do that and just see, just to kind of supplement our other hives. We'll see what happens. Anyway, that's it. Went through Megahive. Still crazy numbers of bees in there. We saw the queen. Made a little split off here for queen raising nuke. See what happens. And we'll go from there.